holiday season. We're playing hymns and carols from all over the world, from the Ukraine, Russia, Switzerland, France, Germany, and of course, England in the United States of America, and some of the great choral societies. We have a great fondness for the human voice here in the War Room, and we hope to surprise you and entertain you and enlighten you with some of the music choices and the choice of art in the run up to the Christmas holidays. I want to bring back Raheem Kassam. Raheem, this is the most central, the issue of our time. One of the reasons we do transhumanism, and Joe Allen's going to be back on today to talk about why it's the issue of our time, but it ties together so many strands here. And we're trying to make sure people have a framework in which to view the chaos and madness that's all around us. And here's the thing. The elites, your betters don't know any. We know these people. We see how the decisions are made. They're just throwing darts right now. And here's the thing. They're throwing darts. They're doing things that you can't undo. You can't undo. In the United Kingdom, you can't undo that vaccine passport. Go back and look at English history. Look at our revolution. Look at what we did with it. As imperfect as we are. But look at all the precedent. This is what I tell, and particularly Lao Beijing and the Chinese, when I talk to the new federal state and these Chinese groups that are pro-democracy and want to take down the Chinese Communist Party, I said, hey, look, we've been at this a long time, and look at the 2020 election, right? Look where we are today. We've been at this for thousands of years. You look at Athens and Rome and England. We've been at this a long time, and we have it. It's very imperfect. But you look at that tradition, Raheem, and I know you're a traditionalist. You look at that tradition and you see yesterday, the 14th December, the year of our Lord 2021, is a black letter day in the history of liberty of free men and women. Okay. And if they had, if people had the guts and the moxie and the nerve and the steely resolve to get to the bottom of what happened and hold the Chinese Communist Party accountable, I might be less concerned about it, but they're not. There's not even a discussion around here about that. There's just not. And at the end of the day, write this down. We all know that that's what happened, and it's going to be proven. And our voice from the 20th of January of 2020, when we started this show, is going to be remembered as the people said originally. This is what happened. This is how it happened. This is what they're doing. Raheem, I don't know. You and Nigel, somebody has got to put the Tories on notice. Just like, and I'll say this out loud. Most of the Republican establishment, just like the Tory party, exactly like it. If you don't have the bayonet to their backs, they're not going to do it. The only reason that you have any discipline at all is this audience. This is the one that they're right now about Mitch McConnell and Mitch McConnell's problems because of this audience. They're talking about, oh, this anti-democratic forces, all this fascism, the school boards and the election officials and the precinct committee. It's this audience. You've got the bayonet to their backs. Otherwise, you're going to have Boris Johnson. He's just typical of what they are. Raheem Kassam.
Well, one of the things that I talk about in the podcast about this, it's up now. You can listen to it after this show. Get it on all the usual podcast platforms. It's just called The National Pulse. And one of the things that I talk about is the fact that the traditional right is so splintered in the United Kingdom right now. You've still got the UK Independence Party, sans Nigel Farage. You've got the Reform Party. You've got the Reclaim Party. You've got the Heritage Party. You've got the For Britain movement. There are a number of others as well. They all kind of just dissipated and kind of went off in all their little ways after the Brexit vote happened. And they all need to come back together. So I am going to call Nigel Farage later today and see if we can get the old band back together and do something about this, because it's deadly serious at this point in time. And you're dead right. I mean, it's so hard to win these liberties back once they're given away, and they were given away yesterday. There's a couple of things I just want to raise real quickly that I think I want to lay some markers down for. Number one, listen to this phrase and internalize what it means. Vax to vote. Vax to vote. This is what they're going to start talking about when they realize that they can't win the midterm elections.
Whoa. Full stop. Whoa, stop. What was that phrase?
Vax to vote.
Oh, my God. What are you talking about? I didn't even think of this. This is so great. I'm going to steal it. I see exactly where you're going with this. Walk me through it.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes. Well, you've been sending me some articles, right, over the last couple of days about the Democrat panic that's going on right now. The same situation's occurring all across the Western world with these governments realizing that their publics don't find them legitimate anymore. And so, what better way to, I suppose, win your elections, like Vladimir Putin often does, than to disenfranchise the people that you don't want voting? Just take them out of the equation altogether. And the best way for these people to do that is requiring a vaccination card, a COVID pass for you to go to be able to vote. This is a step after. This is one step further than drop boxes and all the other measures that we saw in 2020. And I guarantee you, I mean, just like everything we talked about, CTCL, everything before the last election, I guarantee you'll be looking back at this in 6 months and going, yeah, they called it. They called it again on the war room. Vax to vote is going to become a push on the political left, from the political establishment. I guarantee that.
Wow, smart. You connected some serious dots there. Remember, the compression of time from wingnut conspiracy theory to political fact is now what, Raheem, 90 days?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've said something on this show now that I know that Mediaite is going to write up, and Media Matters are going to write up, and will probably find its way into CNN or whatever. Bannon and co. spread vaccine vote conspiracy theories, and then just wait. When the Atlantic article comes out a month later and says, actually, we really do need to start thinking about vax to vote. This is just the way it works now. So mark this date down in your diary. It's actually my brother's birthday. It's actually Jack Posovic's birthday today. But mark this date down in your diary. This is the thing that they're working on next.
Is Jack Posovic
and by the
old
way,
enough to drink yet? Is he 21?
By the way,
go ahead.
One more thing. I'm like Columbo here. One more thing, right? 2 days after we dropped the Facebook's #1 story, and 1 day after we dropped the Facebook #2 story, guess who's suspended from Facebook? Yes, that would be me. So there are all sorts
no
of
coincidences.
There's no coincidence.
Hold on, did Germany shut down Telegram? What is going on?
German MPs are trying to take Telegram out of the equation now because they say it's used for the spread of COVID vaccine and passport misinformation and so on and so forth. They call it a very dangerous tool there. So you see all these movements being made all around the world, which is why I feel confident in talking about the next, what I think are antediluvian measures like Vax to Vote. Germany's trying to take down Telegram. You're seeing all of these soccer players around the world collapsing from heart problems and retiring and all of that right now. There's just so many things right now that are going on out there, and we're trying to cover as much of them as possible. I do want to say one more thing real quick, just as an announcement from the National Pulse, is that we're obviously reader funded, and we just launched this morning. You can actually gift a subscription to the National Pulse now, thenationalpulse.com/gift, if you want to buy somebody else the gift of real news.
Here's what your reporting has done. And we got to bundle these up and figure out how to bundle these up and get people to go through it, or you give, like we gave the you and I did the tour on the Transition Integrity Project, where we called how they're going to steal the election back in July of 2020, because they told us how they're going to steal the election. They weren't shy about it. Mark Elias, these guys are pretty upfront. And then Time Magazine gave them a cover story afterwards. They weren't shy about it. Is with the Olympics coming up, let me just be brutally frank. Until we get our hands around what happened in Wuhan, there's no going forward. Just like I get to the bottom of 3 November. You're going to continue to have these mutations. It's not, Omicron's just another mutation. More transmissible, virulent, but obviously not as deadly. But it's going to happen. It's going to be more and more and more until you get to the bottom, until you show the spine and the guts to do it. It's just going to continue on. And you're not going to stop the Chinese Communist Party. They see how they've brought the West to their knees. They see how they've destroyed our economy. They've all the growth you're seeing, all that. It's just you're just throwing cash at it. You just enjoy. It's just a sugar high. And today at this Federal Reserve meeting, we're going to have Navarro on next. You're going to start to see it. Raheem, quickly, how do people get to you on Getter? Because they got to get your Getter feed.
I'm at Raheem Kassam. Steve, the same thing that is happening to your monetary supply is happening to your science supply, right? It's hyperinflation. It's worth less now as a result of all of the stuff that they're pumping into that.
Yes.
There's probably a better way to say it, but that's what's happening. And you know, in any logical scenario, we would be celebrating a variant like Omicron because we would be going, hey, great, this thing is actually harming people less. And instead,
Yes.
we're using something like that, which we knew from day one that this would happen. Instead of that,
Yes.
we're instilling fear in people because of it. No, that's how
Yes.
you know the science is totally debased.
Scientism. Raheem Bassam, thank you. Thank you for taking time away today. I know you're very busy to join us here, but we had to get all this work through. Raheem
Yeah.
Bassam, incredibly horrible day in the United Kingdom, our mother country. Englishmen and women giving up their freedoms. A conservative government. Understand that. A conservative government. Short commercial break. We're going to be back. We're going to talk inflation. We got Dr. Peter Navarro next.